We're out here today getting ready for the snowstorm that's getting ready to hit the North Carolina area. I'll show you here in a second. I'm getting ready to tow a big load of construction waste away so I can have my razor and my truck and everything ready for the snowstorm. And if you've watched my previous videos or comments that I've left to several other people that are in the know on these Ram 3500s, I've been noticing like a kind of a propane-y now gear oil smell coming from the rear of the vehicle. And I drove the truck this morning down to get some breakfast and came back, loaded up this trailer, got it hooked up, and I walked around the back of the truck and I smelled it again. Well, every time I smell it, I crawl up underneath the truck to see if I can see what's going on. Well, this time I crawled up underneath the truck and I know what's going on. Just called the dealer. I did call the auto parts store. We're getting ready to have a big snowstorm, so I actually considered just pulling it out myself and replacing the seal. It looks like the seal in the rear axle on the driver's side is not just leaking, it's pouring out. So I called the dealer. You can't really get parts for this anywhere around here. They said it would be at least Monday, which is after the snowstorm happens. So I'm restricting it to short trips. So I'm going to make this one haul to the construction dump simply because I don't have any other choice. I've already got everything loaded and hooked up. But anyway, I'm going to change the camera view here and crawl up underneath the truck and do as best I can to kind of show what's going on. So definitely, if you smell gear oil on one of these 3500s, it's not the DEF. It is going to be gear oil. If it smells like gear oil, it is gear oil. And I'll give you a shot of that here real quick and talk about it on the way to the construction dump. All right, I'm not real sure how well this will come through on camera. You can see a little bit of the gear oil starting to get on the tire. It's definitely wet the rim, and it's coming from the axle. It doesn't appear that it's coming from the joint, although it may be. I haven't looked at it real close. Really would need to take that tire off to see if it's just the pressed fit of the axle tube or it's actually the seal. But to me, from what I can see from here, it looks like it's actually leaking on the inside and coming down. One thing I'll note, I very seriously doubt that rear brake is working. I haven't really noticed it. I may notice it now towing this trailer, but I doubt it's working. It's covered in gear oil. Just kind of give you a shot. This truck, I've got right at 1,400 miles, I think is what's on the odometer right now. So definitely, if you smell this smell, get it checked out. It's a Friday now. They're not going to be able to look at it until Monday. So I'm going to be stuck driving it. I may pull that seal out and just make sure that it's not getting crazy. I've already pulled it out twice and wasn't able to notice anything. I don't know if the seal's failed worse or what's happened, but definitely enough there now where you can see what it is. Typically troubleshooting these things, sometimes you really can't tell what's going on with it. This case, I wasn't sure whether that smell was normal or just, really what it was, because it was a brand new truck. And a lot of times you really can't determine what's going on until the problem gets worse. Here's a good example. It's gotten worse. I know exactly where the problem's at, and hopefully the dealer can take care of me on Monday while I'm at work, if the snowstorm doesn't prevent me from getting to the dealer or to close the dealer down. Anyway, I'm just going to do a quick review of the truck so far. Other than this, I haven't had any problems. And I'll do that on the way to the construction dump. Alright, we're getting ready to tow. We've got the big dump trailer, 14,000 pounds. Right now, I'm probably at like 9,000 pounds, give or take. I'm going to the construction dump. It's a pretty light load. Just want to kind of talk on the way there. And we're going to try to get this thing to the construction dump without issue. Really, this rear end issue is really the only trouble I've had with the truck. Other than that, towing has been really good. Haven't had any issues with you know, electronics, remote start. This is a limited, so it's got a lot of bells and whistles, and it works really well. Towing, it's comfortable. This is probably a little lighter load than I thought. It's a pretty steep grade here that we're going up, and I want to make sure that I don't hit my own car. Get out of the driveway. One thing I really do like, I'm on a fairly steep hill. The hill assist works really well. I think that's actually a trans brake. I'm not sure on that, but that's what I've heard rumor. It works really well. It's going to hold me here on this hill till I get going with this load. Let's get our exhaust brake on. Make sure we got trailer barracks. Traffic's kind of heavy right now. This is my day off and middle of the work day, so had a little bit of fun trying to get out of here without getting run over. I use the four-wheel drive almost every day in this truck, and it's mainly for like gravel and steep grades. I live in the mountains, and I do a lot of shifting in and out of four-wheel drive while I'm moving. That works just as good as it did on the other truck. Can't complain. The climate controls, I like these climate controls a lot better than the 2011, especially the auto comfort feature. It basically turns on all of your, you know, your seat warmer, your steering wheel warmer. It basically turns all that on if the temp's cold. You don't have to, you know, a lot of times on my other truck, I had it and I'd be going down the road and be, you know, fiddling around trying to find a switch. And this truck's a little worse, I guess, for finding switches. There's a big switch bank, and it's not something easy to look down at, especially when you're towing. It's going to be interesting for me. I think this is one of the first videos I've done that I'm actually towing something fairly large. This trailer is really not that heavy, but it's pretty much the maximum width, and I'm going, you know, steep mountainous roads with lots of traffic, so kind of see myself, you know, looking at mirrors and that kind of thing. Power-wise, this has more power than the other truck, and I'm really happy with it. I like the way that the transmission's set up. The shift points are really good. Tow haul mode is really good. Right now we're not in tow haul mode. There's really no reason to be in tow haul mode. I would say unless you have, you know, 8,000 pounds, 9,000 pounds, maybe even 10,000 pounds, or you're doing a lot of steep grade climbing, tow haul mode really isn't needed. It'll actually shift a little too much for my liking in tow haul with a really light load. As far as, you know, I did go from a single rear wheel to a dual. I really haven't noticed that much difference in the size. You know, obviously I tow a lot. Pretty much any time I'm using a truck, almost, I'm towing something. So, you know, the trailer's always going to be the limiting factor. It's really never been the dually. And I haven't had a lot of trouble parking. You just park backwards. That way your doors don't hit. Interior. Yeah, the Limited's kind of grown on me. I don't know that I would ever go back to a Laramie. I do like all the little bells and whistles. The truck's super quiet. We're supposed to get, I don't know, you know, anywhere, the weather guys, anywhere from, you know, nothing to 100 inches, I guess is what the weather's saying. But I'm guessing just by looking at what's going on, I think we're going to get about 10 inches. I don't know that these, I don't know how they're pronounced, but it looks like they're spelt next gen tires. They are I guess an all-season tire. I think they have the AT on the side, but I don't really consider those all-terrain. They've done really well. And the thing, I probably won't go to a real all-terrain tire, just simply because I usually drive this truck towing on the road or gravel roads. And it's a pleasure truck mostly, to haul the RZR and the RV. So going from a fairly rough tire to this new dually with more of a street tread, I like the sound. I mean, it's really quiet on the inside, really comfortable, and there's less fatigue driving. There's less things going on that you got to worry about. I love the ST Maxes that I had on my other truck, but they were very loud compared to this truck. The nav and the new Uconnect, the old Uconnect, I thought was great. It was able to rip CDs. This truck doesn't do that, but I still like the way that they've laid out the controls. CDs are kind of a thing of the past. However, this truck, although I wouldn't have ordered it like that, it did come with the center console CD player. Driving it, I love driving it. I try to do as much as I can with it. That's one of the things I did this morning. I got up and kind of was like, I need to get some work done. And the funnest part of the day is probably going to be hauling this construction waste to the dump. And like I said, I drove it out and got some breakfast this morning, and then discovered the evil problem. I don't really hear anything, and I haven't noticed anything. I would have expected. I probably lost some braking power here on the driver's side, but there's really no pull, I guess, because the dualies, have so many contact patches. It's really hard for it to, I guess, to pull when you're mashing the brakes. I mean, unless you had like a really big load. But I don't feel anything in the steering wheel. This particular truck, I've saw other people's reviews of this truck. They've had issues with the way it drives. It drives better than my 2500 did when it was new. These trucks are great. The front ends, things wear out. I think this truck has a lot beefier front end than what the old truck had. But they get a little slop and this, that, and the other. This truck seems to be doing fine. I've only got exact odometer reading is 1475 right now as we sit. It drives really good. I mean, basically you can one-hand steer while you're on the interstate. You don't have to fight it or make adjustments. It pretty much just goes straight. A lot of that has to do with the dually. I do notice that difference between the dually and the single roll wheel, that the dually will want to go straight versus the single roll will kind of, I guess with tire flex, especially if you had a load, wiggle a little bit more. So I'm enjoying that. Paint, body fit, that kind of thing. I would say it's on par with the 2011. I wouldn't say Dodge is at the top of the line, but they do a lot better now than they did way back in the past. I used to have an old Ram Charger, and I don't think a panel on it had the same clearance distance as any other panel, but this truck's pretty close. It looks nice. The only real blemish that I've ever found on the truck is probably the side vinyl pieces on the pillars. Mine has a little, it looks like where it got stretched out when it got put on. I'll probably end up taking those off anyway. But all in all, I'm really happy with the truck. It's done really well. I can't complain. And as long as the dealer takes care of me on Monday, gets that rear seal or axle tube. I've saw on the online forums that if it's the axle tube, a lot of times they'll replace the entire assembly, and hopefully they can do that without messing anything up. But we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this helps out some folks. And I just want to give a shout out to all the folks that have helped me online. There's several other YouTube channels. I'll try to list a couple of them in the description of this video that are really helpful with these kind of trucks, and a lot of you folks that are on the online forums. Just it's a lot of stuff to learn and a lot of little gotchas.